Shivani Kamdar from Real Life Trading India, and today's video is going to be about the power of Fibonacci in your day-to-day trades and your swing trades. So let's get started. I'm so excited. I'm amped for this wonderful meeting. I am going to go through a few tickers with SPY being the first, and let's type in a 1 in the chat pane if you guys have zero idea what a Fibonacci is. So everyone has somewhat of an idea. I kind of feel like, okay, all right, great. Okay, perfect. So fibs, the most often the question that I get asked is, I don't know where to draw my fib retracements and fib extensions. Now I'm going to take a very mom-like approach towards this, and it's not going to be in technical terms. It's going to be very simplified. So retracements are used to know. This is how I play it in my head. How low can you go? You know that song, everybody? Yeah, that's what retracements are. Extensions are the sky's the limit. That's it. Simple as that. Type of pizza, type of pasta. I'm not sure, Colton. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Again, can you type in your question again? But okay, so once we got that out of the way, now let's go to the daily chart. Fibonacci sounds like a pasta. Yes, yes. He is Italian, by the way. He was a mathematician, and I don't want to because I want to keep this under an hour, so I don't want to get too much into detail about that. But fib numbers are actually, if you really, really go back and look for this, they are present everywhere. They're there in the Apple logo. I don't know why, but they're everywhere, in flower petals, in everywhere, anything that you could think of, in our charts, obviously. But I first came across fibs as a way to figure out where my stop and my target should be. I sucked at it, and I hated the fact that I had to ask the moderators and figure out where my stop. I mean, stop is understood. We all get it. We understand, you know, if we're in a bull trade, maybe our stop should be here. I get it. But targets is what I struggled with the mostest, especially in day trades. And I hated asking them that every single time. So I kept pestering them and said, how do you figure this out? How do you figure this out? And they came up with this phenomenal solution. They pointed me to the fibs, and I absolutely fell in love with it. So let's get started. So let's look at the SPY daily chart. SPY might not be a very good example for this round, but we'll come back to it for sure. Okay, this is Apple's daily chart. Now, I want everybody here to understand that charts usually do this. And do we all agree? Type in a 1. I mean, bear charts do slightly different, but they kind of do the same thing. Okay, all right, great. So when the fifth wave has come in and we don't know where the ABC retracement is going to go, and then what happens afterwards, what do? You draw out fibs. You say, how far is this going to pull out? Right? Pull back. Let me figure out a way to remove this guy. And there we go. Okay. All right. So the first thing I want us to identify is that Apple is making a high, and then a low, and then a lower high, and then possibly a lower low. It's still at a double bottom situation right now, so we can't really question it as much. But if it took out this little candle right here, then it's going to make a lower low. So clearly we can say that the trend, the bull trend that it had here, has changed a little tiny bit. Does everybody agree? You can type in a yes if you do. Okay. All right. Okay. So once we have that in place, and keep in mind, guys, we're going to have a lot of tickers with a bear trend right now, just because of our trading days right now. But anyway, so once we have that in place, now our job is to figure out, hey, it's had this run up and it's going to pull back a little bit. It's going to do that in waves, but it's going to pull back a little bit. How much is it going to pull back? And where is a good spot for me to get in? How do I know if this zone is the dip buying zone? How do I know if this zone should be the dip buying zone? How do I know? When I ask Jeremy, he just throws out a number. Or when I ask Falco, oh my God, that kid, he just throws out a number and then it matches up precisely with the fibs. I don't know how to do it. I guess maybe they've been looking at the charts too long. But to me, I have to figure this out with fibs. So what we're going to do is figure out where the most recent bull run from the beginning to the end. So we can all kind of say the most recent bull run kind of started from here and ended over here. Is that correct? Does everybody agree? All right, that's it. It's that easy, guys. That's it. So now we're going to draw fibs. And this is the daily chart, so let's do that. Okay, let me move the chat pane away. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, this is a daily chart. All right, and zoom in a little bit more. Why? This is what I mean by I struggle with TradingView a lot. Okay, all right. So, tiny little bit. Okay, usually things tend to bounce off of the 50% retracement level, but that isn't the most accurate one. The golden ratio is, Jonathan says, do you use fibs in Thinkorswim inside the platform? Yes, it's the one that I'm most comfortable with. Click on auto on the right bottom. Okay, there, that's it. It was that easy. Oh my God. Okay, I got it. Yay. Thank you, Mithun. Okay. Yes, the platform that I'm most comfortable with is Thinkorswim. I am trying to learn the TradingView platform because of certain Indian tickers. And so Thinkorswim doesn't pull up any Indian tickers. So yeah, but I kind of like, TradingView as well. Okay, so let's go back to this. It'll take me about 6 months to figure it out. And then once I'm done, I will be good at this too. Okay, so usually 50% retracement level is a good purchasing area. Maybe you could buy 10% of your portfolio over here, of how much ever you wanted to buy of Apple, and then leave the rest for 618 and 786. These are the golden ratios in the Fibonacci sequence. 50% retracement actually doesn't exist. It's just a made-up one in the trading world. But I mean, we can kind of say, hey, if everybody that bought all the way up here, maybe 50% all the way up here, all the way here, maybe 50% people want to take profit, then this is a good bounce zone. I say always, things that bounce off of the 618 level are the best. Ryan says, I get slightly different 50% retracement. Yes, you're right. It's because my fibs aren't accurate here. Let me see if I can do an accurate job here. Give me 1 second, okay? Okay, do they match up now, Ryan? Is your 50% retracement at 139.70? 139.76. Okay, so close. Great. Okay, perfect. Yes, they should match up. But yeah, okay. So this is where I would reserve a spot to go buy and go bullish. Now, let's say you bought 80% of how much ever you wanted to buy and you left the other 20 for down here. If for whatever reason this level also fails, then guys, you're in for a ride. Then the last hope is this double bottom. That's it. Because usually these two levels are the strongest for it to bounce. And if it doesn't, if something fails, then you can kind of assess their weakness. Now, these fibs work on every different time frame, weekly, monthly, daily. Did everybody, I don't know if everybody was there in our evening room today, and Robert Falco said, you have my blessings to go by Zoom, but ideally I would like it at 180. And I thought it was so cool that he said that without drawing out the fibs. Let's click auto. Great. Love it. All right. We can all agree that Zoom is making lower highs and lower lows. So this is its downtrend. This is a weekly chart, by the way, guys. So this may not be the most precise fibs, but I just want to show you guys why he said that and how cool this is. Do you guys see this? Do you see how it bounces off of the 170, 180 region right here? And that's why he said that. Does that even, it blows my mind. It just blows my mind that he could do that. Also, do you guys see why he said you have my blessings to go buy Zoom right now on the weekly? Do you see this level right here with decreasing bear volume? This makes perfect sense to me. Yes, I will buy 20% of how much ever I wanted to buy Zoom for my long-term hold here, and maybe the rest down here, and hope for the best. Yeah, the 618 retracement. It also, the 618, the 161 extension also works phenomenally well. So we'll go through certain tickers, and I'll show you guys how amazing these things are. Okay, so SPY. Everyone wants to know how high we can go or how low we can really truly go. SPY is on a bull run right now, and it hasn't really truly, maybe this one is a lower low, but we're still waiting for another kind of push up to confirm this. So let's go do fibs on this and see what our chart shows. Does anyone have a question as to why I picked that level? Please type your question if you don't really understand. JK says why. Inga says why. Okay, all right. So this right here, guys, was the trend change, right? Can we all agree? After this trend drop, we kind of started making this bull run. So this was the last little bear trend change. And then we did that. So wherever you can spot a trend change, that's where your fibs should usually go. Does that answer your question? The secret behind magic as well. Yes. Okay, perfect. All right. Okay. So everyone thinks, oh, SPY is so extended. Well, we kind of are. We're at the 1618 retracement, and we're past that. However, I wouldn't be surprised if we go tag that, because we're past this level. So we very well could go there. It's the weekly. I was also looking at something really cool earlier. I'm gonna remove this and show you guys what I was looking at earlier. So this was the previous trend change before this bull run. And again, not predicting a crash. I am not that person anymore. But, okay, perfectly lined up. Tell me this surprises you guys. This is the COVID crash. Check out the fibs off of this level. All right, yeah, so we did go above the 618 level a little tiny bit on the weekly chart and then dropped massively. SPY isn't looking that weak, this really wasn't looking weak at that time, but it's not really doing anything crazy yet unless the politics kind of messes with it. But yes, okay. Our is that Ria? I can't tell, but ours says, "Oh my fibs." Yes, yes. Tell me you guys understand this. How fun are fibs? How cool is this for long-term swing trading? How amazing is it to plan your trades? Now that we're in this bull trade and we're kind of pulling back and making this kind of lower low, we'll still have to wait, and this can't be 100% accurate. But now that we're in this full run, this massive run, let's do fibs on this and see what happens. So we're kind of hoping that the bull run ended, and this is the bear run that's starting right over here. And so we're seeing what is a good buy level. What's a good buy the dip level on SPY? 236 right here, the 236 retracement level, 398.75. And these numbers aren't really accurate. You can really punch in their true values and then you get the exact numbers. Fibs don't usually, they might hover $1 or $2 less here and there, but they almost always line up. So yeah, but have you ever heard Tony say 400 is a great buying place? I want it to come down to 400. Type in a 1 if we remember Tony Pollock say, I would like to buy SPY at 400. Why? That's why. Do you guys see it? You no longer have to ask them why now. That's it. It's that simple. There we go. Yeah. Now, okay, let's go look at another ticker. And these are the tickers that I've kind of filtered out. So it's kind of unfair for me to just put these in. If you guys have a request for something else, I would be more than happy to look at. Are we still playing with GME? JK, no, we're not. I have never traded GME, not long, not short. So no. Okay, Roku. If you guys have a specific ticker that you want to look at, I would love to do that as well. Let me remove these lines. Ooh, not copy, sorry guys. Okay, can we all agree that Roku is making lower lows and not necessarily a lower high? This could be a kind of double top, but still it's a double top. It didn't really make a higher high. So can we all agree that Roku on the weekly chart is looking a little bit bearish? Type in a 1 in the chat pane. Okay, great, fantastic. All right, on the daily, it looks even better. Okay, perfect. So let's find the most bull run, the most recent bull run that it's had. See, right over here, I think this looks like a good level of the bull run that it's had. And then we kind of started making lower lows and lower highs as we went on. Right over here, the trend kind of changed. So maybe we can do our fibs here, but let's do it from here. And then I'll show you the fibs from here as well. Okay, all right. So now, is 220 a good level, good area of support to buy Roku at? Have we heard anybody else say, I'll buy Roku long-term at 220? I've heard Matt say it a couple times. I've heard Falco say it a couple times. Is this a coincidence, you guys? This bounce right off of here? I don't think so. So that's Ryan says that's really low. Yes. Well, I mean, Roku's kind of being a little bit of weakling. It should have bounced off of here. Maybe we come down to the 50, do a little double bottom, and then go back up again. I really, truly don't know what Roku's going to do. Ryan, you know, I had Roku at 70 during COVID. The biggest mistake I've ever made, letting go of Roku. So you never know. You sold a put at 300. Okay, all right. Well, that's a really, Ryan, hold that thought, and I'm going to get back to you about that. So we will also, the thing that I'm going to blow your mind with is time frames, when to do this. But we'll get back to it. Let's look at Twitter real quick. Does anybody want to take over and annotate and tell me where the Twitter fibs should be drawn out? I'll take a volunteer. Do you think? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't use Apple products, so I have no idea. Honestly, I don't know anything about Apple. Okay, all right. So let's look at Twitter again, and I would say this right here is a good bull run, and then we've had this bear kind of momentum from then on. So let's do fibs from here. Well, one could argue all the way down here. Okay, let's be fair and we'll do it all the way down. Okay, all right. Do we see this bounce off of the 50% retracement? This isn't a true bounce, guys. So this came in afterwards. I mean, before we drew our fibs. So this really can't be accounted for. But this right here in its bear momentum is a great buying spot. Does everybody agree? Now that we're taking this out, we're kind of retesting this. Maybe it's time for a trend change, or maybe we'll go down a little bit to the 618 region, and that's where I'll look to buy for long term. This session right here is strictly about long term. We're going to delve into the 15-minute chart for day trading as well, and that's where I'll show you how I do my day trades based on fibs. So yeah. But I hope everybody agrees down here. Hold on. I have to go back and catch up. Ryan says, not always. How do you live not using the Apple products? Okay, I used to be an Apple person, and then my husband introduced me to Android, and since then I've never looked back. There's just so much you can do. I have the Z Fold phone, and I literally could trade off of my phone. It's so much easier. So yeah. Jenny, see, there we go. We have another non-Apple person. Not everybody has to be an Apple person, Lance. Eric has a really good question. He said, I don't understand why you said this 618 level was not a real bounce. We can't count it. Okay, so Eric, we drew our fibs keeping this and this in mind. So this right here and this right here. Until then, we were making higher highs and higher lows, somewhat in a bull trend. You know, we kind of stuck to the trend a tad bit longer. So while this was in formation, the 618 region hadn't really, we couldn't have, I mean, without this peak, we couldn't have drawn these fibs. I hope that answers your question. So that's why I said this isn't a real bounce. Now, from the retracement perspective, if we came down to the 618 level, yes, that's a great buy. So when you're in a bear market, which we're not really, and I hate to call it that right now, but things are kind of looking droppy. And when you're in that bear market, and we've had a massive bull run. So around COVID time, how do you think Jeremy knew when to buy something? Or when to say, hey, this is a long-term dip buying opportunity. Let's go do it. I will take you guys back up to Tesla when he said, this is a legit breakout. And I'll show you why he said that. And I absolutely 100% agree. I didn't want to talk too much about the Tesla. It's just our darling. He has a crystal ball. I think he's just really good with fibs. And Jenny, you know what? You do this for 6 months and you'll be that good too. Maybe some newbie will be asking you all the questions. So yeah. Okay. All right. So does that make sense? Eric, did I answer your question? Please type in a 1 if I did. Yes, you said yes. Okay, great. Was going to ask about what's going to happen to Tesla. Okay, Ryan, if you want my long-term opinion, I think Tesla's going to go to 900. Not really tomorrow. I don't think so. I think it needs to just kind of chill out a little bit and then maybe make that run again. But we'll go look over Tesla. Do you guys want to look at these other tickers and kind of make sense of it, or are we good with this and we want to move on to day trades? after Tesla. It's done chilling and it needs to go higher. I hope so too, Jenny. I have 19 shares. No, I have 19 shares of SPY. I think I have about 20 shares of Tesla. So I hope it goes to 900 too. Okay, Nike. Nike on the hourly chart looks so good for fibs. And I wanted to show you guys that. Okay, this is the most recent bull run on Nike. And this is the hourly chart, by the way. And today in the evening room, Robert said, this is a great buy zone. I'd look to go bullish over here. And if you don't believe me, I'm serious. Go back and listen to the recording. And it just made me mad. It's like, why? How do you know this? But I'm not sure. He's just really good with fibs. So, okay. I just have to show you guys that. But Nike leaves today based on that. Yes, yay, Chris, good job. Yes, that's awesome. Okay, so let's go to Tesla. Alrighty, guys. We were in the day trading room yesterday, and I asked Dan, said, hey, Dan, would 800 be a good level to short Tesla at? And he said, yeah, maybe. I wouldn't touch it though, but that's where I got my level from on the hourly, the 800. It was the 1618 extension. So now, guys, all this while we've talked about retracements. This is an extension. And let me explain to you. So what we were doing is we were taking the bull run and saying, how low can you go? That's a retracement. Now, what we're doing is taking the drop and saying, how high can you go? Does that make sense? This is a true extension. Type in a 1 if I've confused the heck out of you, and a 2 if you kind of understood and followed along. Okay. I see a couple of 1s and a 1.5s. Okay, all right, okay. So the guys that typed in a 1. All right, so if this bull run, let's just pretend like this part doesn't exist, okay? Just keep that out of your eyesight. Try to do it. Let's just say this bull run has come in and it's showing a little bit of weakness here. The RSI is super high, which it truly is. And you're saying, hey, it's going to pull back. How do I know how much it's going to pull back, where the 1618 retracement is, and where to go in long again? How do I know where to go in and buy the dip? So what I'm saying is, how low can you go? Really? And so I will do fibs on this and see where the retracement level happens. This is a perfect 50% retracement. Again, guys, we talked about this. This is a bull market. 50% retracements are very likely. 618 is great. I love a 618 retracement bounce. But if it doesn't happen, maybe buy 10% of your position over here. Clearly, Tesla never came back for it. But anyway, so this is a retracement. Now, an extension is this bear run has happened. This drop has happened. And now Tesla's making higher highs and higher lows. So now we're saying, how high can you go? So then we're going to draw fibs on the hourly chart. Sorry, guys. And say, how high can you go? Okay. Ideally, when a stock is truly bullish, the 1618 retracement always almost happens. And so that's what I meant earlier. Use bar replay, Maloney. To pretend like this wasn't there. Okay, with our next example, I will. But I just wanted to show you guys the extensions apply to how high can you go. And when you're doing the extensions, you want to find the most recent bear run, the most recent high and a lower low, and then do your extensions based on that. If I were in this trade and I bought the dip at the 618 level and it went a little bit lower or whatever, if I bought the dip over here, because I'm me, I would sell it right over here at 766. But it's just me. I'm a chicken with my bull runs. I'm not good with holding stuff too long. So yeah, but if you have something in your portfolio that you're going to hold forever, this right here is a great place to do a covered call. Does that make sense? Or maybe a tiny little bit higher, because now there's bound to be a little bit of pullback. It's going to go down to this one level and then maybe bounce higher, go to the 2618 level, or it's going to start a bear run. Who knows? I don't know. So you would have waited to exit before the 1618 level. That's what Keith says. Keith, yes, with my bear trades, I am miraculously patient. I don't know why. I'm just really good with holding bear trades a lot longer than bull trades. I'm afraid that someone's going to come out and say something and the news is going to break out and then Tesla's going to gap down. So yeah, I would have held to the point where we started. So potentially a double top scenario, I would have held till there and then that's it. Sold for a profit. Bought at the 618 level and then held to one level. You could hold to the 1618 level and trail your stop. This is an hourly chart, by the way, guys. So this could potentially, I could have waited for the 1618 retracement on the hourly chart. On the daily, no, I'm not patient. I'm just not a patient panda at all. I don't have that gene in me. Working on it. I am truly working on it with Matt DeLong. Okay, so I hope I clarified this for you guys. Is everybody with me still? Is anyone confused? Do we need to go over anything else again? And honestly, I wouldn't mind. Just type in a 1 if everyone's still with me. All right. Couple of 1s. Okay, great. Awesome. Yay. Okay. So let's go to the 15-minute chart now. Now, I'm not sure if everyone here has seen the inside candle video, and I'm not going to go over that today. Today is strictly about fibs, and so we are going to figure this out. Now, when you come in the morning and you see this bull run being broken down a little bit, and then this candle comes in, and then this candle comes in. So now, we're in this bear trend. Would you be comfortable shorting or taking a bear trade now when you're looking at a longer term time? Well, when you're looking at the longer picture, the 15-minute time frame, ideally. That's what I mean. Okay, so let's do fibs on it. And this is how I gain confidence. When things have made a huge run. So we all knew Tesla had its glory day yesterday and then kind of started rolling over. The RSI was super high. And so ideally I would just look for an inside candle, but we're not going to go into that right now. But where would I set my target? At the 236 level. And then from then on, or maybe I'd take 10 or 20% off here and then wait for the 382 level and move my stop at the 236 level. This is how fibs work in day trades. Now, all of our charts for day trades are going to look exactly the same for today because everything had a drop today and everything had a run up for the past couple of days. So I don't want to really go into too many different charts, but I do want to show you guys something completely fun that's going to blow your mind. Or plan to go long at 749. Great. Yes, Mithun. Yes, that's a great idea. Yes. So if Tesla were to get to 749.50 today, which, I mean, if we're at 770 though, I didn't really foresee it getting there today, but I do see that happening in the near future. I truly do. If we don't wake up with a gap up tomorrow, I'd be comfortable shorting it down to the 50% retracement level. I truly am, because it's not making a new high anymore. It's made a high and then a lower low and then a lower high. If we don't take this out, then it's a lower high and then we're going to make another lower low. So how long would you use this fib you have drawn right now? I'm not sure I understand, Keith. What do you mean? Would you mind explaining that a little bit? So, are you asking me for how many days? The one on the screen now, where is it no longer valid? Great question. Okay, it is no longer valid when the trend has changed. So when this bear trend, we're ideally looking for retracements. So we're saying, where exactly is a dip buying opportunity? How much can it retrace? And when that retracement is done and it's making higher highs again, that trend change is happening, that's when you wouldn't use that fib. That's when, does anybody want to type in and tell me what fib I would want to use again? I would want to use extension. Yes, Eric, yes, you got it. Yes. So I would drop extension level from here to wherever the low level, probably 749 is. I would do an extension and it would tell me where the 1618 level is. So yes, that's a great question, Eric. That makes sense. Keith, thank you. Thank you for asking me that. It's a fantastic question. Yeah, so until the trend has changed, that's how long I would keep it on. Okay, all right. Anybody else want to look at any other tickers? I want to show you guys the fun part, the most amazing part that I've been waiting to show you all day long. Okay. Sorry, let's just get this out of the way. And I hope I've answered majority of the fib questions, but I want to do this really fun thing with you guys. Okay. So I'm going to do these fib levels. This is the bear run that we're counting on, and this is the bull run that I'm going to do retracements off of. Okay. All right. Who is ready to have their mind blown? And if your mind is blown, I want you guys to go into Slack and say #mind blown. So now we've talked about fibs and we all know, oh, it retraces to this level, it does this, it does that, blah, 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 blah. Everything is all out there. Everybody knows that. But what if I told you that on the daily chart, I can tell you the time when it will retrace? And how amazing would it be if you could be like, hey, in about a month or so, we'll retrace to about the 618. Well, we'll retrace to about the 618 level. How amazing would it be if you could tell that and know and plan accordingly? So this is how we're going to do it. So on any chart, we are going to draw a trend line. Once a few of these little touches have happened, we can clearly come in and draw a trend line. Now, let's go and do Lance's bar replay thing. I'm not too comfortable with it, so I'm sorry, guys, if I mess up. Please bear with me. Okay. All right. Now, is it fair to say that we will probably come to this level using this little guy around 24th December. So we'll probably come touch the 618 level around, well, actually 15th Jan 2021 with this trend line that's in place, provided that the trend line doesn't get broken. If it does, then clearly the trend is broken. So is it fair to say that we will come tap the 618 level by January something, maybe mid-January? Type in a 1 if you guys think that's fair to say. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's get the bars back and see when we tap the 618 level. Okay, well, November, a little bit earlier than that, but we still have a rough idea of when exactly these things are going to happen. Now, when the trend is changing, can we draw a trend line down here? This goes back to Keith's question, how long is a fib level valid? Let me show you. So when this trend is clearly changing, let's draw a trend line from here to here. Okay, now let's say if we break out of this trend line and go higher, is it fair to say that maybe by November end, we will hit the 236 retracement? I think so. So this trend line is still valid, by the way, because it's been bouncing off of it for so long. Do you think it's fair to say that we will hit this line somewhere around November or whatever? So maybe come November, it's, hey, I've been in Roku, I've bought the dip, I'm a long-time buyer, but here in November is where I'm going to do a covered call at maybe a level up here. Is that fair to say? Do you think that makes sense? It just blew my mind when I figured this out. Time frame wise, guys, you can predict times on this. Let's go back and do this trend line thing again. We will do our bar replay from here. No, I moved the fibs. I'm sorry, guys. Should have just done what Mithun told me to do. Okay, let's pick another chart. Can somebody throw me another ticker that they really like, and we'll do it on the 15-minute or maybe mRNA. That's what Eric says. Okay. mRNA was the first one that I saw. Okay, all right. This is a daily chart on it, and we're kind of coming down with the bear trend. So let's do fibs on it. Okay. All right. Provided that this trend line doesn't, so mRNA doesn't just gap below this tomorrow, is it fair to say that we might chop around here a little bit? And if we don't drop immediately, then we might chop around a little bit, and then maybe somewhere around here, we go hit the 0.5 extension. I think so. We're going to go do it on a 15-minute chart, and it'll make sense. I promise you guys it will. When we back trade this, when you guys back trade this, and I want everybody in this room to really, really work on this, back trade it. Just find a couple of spots. So here we have a couple of bouncing spots. So this is a good trend line. It's a valid trend line. Bounce off of it is valid. But if we break it, then that trend line is broken. Then we need to come up with another trend line, and then it becomes a triangle. So yeah, heads up, it's 9:45. Yes, I know we're running a little bit low on time, but I want to do this. Somebody said square, so we'll do square on the 15-minute chart, and we'll back trade it. Ooh, square. Okay, that is really not looking good. I hope you guys have puts on square. On the 15-minute chart, so for a day trade maybe would work. Okay, and then let's just exit out of here. And draw this trend line and say, hey, maybe by 1 p.m. the pullback is going to occur to the 236 level, and let's see if that happens. If not, I mean, I know square kind of broke down a little bit lower, so we need to do another trend line down there. But I want to show you guys that you can predict time frames. So if this was a 15-minute chart and you got in short over here and then it didn't make another higher high, do you think that with the help of this trend line, you can tell time frames on fibs? So maybe by really 12:30 or 1 o'clock is when it should come down. Have you ever heard Jeremy or any of the moderators say, oh, if it doesn't get there in the next 20 to 30 minutes, then I'm gonna exit? And I've always wondered why they say that. I really, truly have no idea. But, well, now we know. Okay, what time was that when that touch happened? 1:15. Does that make sense, guys? Or did I just completely confuse you? Yes. Okay, great. Yay. I'm so glad you guys got it. Okay. So now on Square, now that we know a little tiny bit about fibs, we're not pros. We're not all going to go home tonight and write a book. And neither am I. I don't consider myself a pro at this stuff at all. I have this theory in life where if I can do it, everybody can do it, sort of motto. So, okay, this is a pretty valid trend line. Now, let's say Square gaps up tomorrow above the 618 retracement. Would it be fair for you to say, okay, I'm going to take a bull trade, and if it doesn't get there by whenever this time frame happens, then I'm going to exit, or I'm going to look to take a partial really quickly? If we gapped up above the 618 level, so we gapped up and opened over here, and then this is your time frame. If it doesn't get there, then it's just dilly-dallying. Maybe we'll make a low again. So there you go. Gives you time frames. What happens if Square takes out this trend line? Does anybody know? Then it's fair to say it'll go test this one. Yep. Yeah. I want everybody that got this and had their mind blown, type in hashtag mind blown in Slack. That would be so awesome. Yeah. But if we, for whatever reason, tomorrow we have a massive bullish day and take out this trend line, we break out of this trend line, we will slowly melt up. Maybe not tomorrow, but somewhere down the line, we will go tag this trend line. And now with fibs and these trend lines, you can tell when exactly it's going to happen. Not really precisely to the second, but you kind of have a rough idea. So guys, I hope all of this information helped. I know this was a very heavy, informative class, and it's gonna take you guys. It took me about a year and a half to understand all of this truly. So I don't expect anybody to be like, yes, I'm a pro at fibs tomorrow morning. So please practice, and if you guys have any questions, please come up to me and please DM me. I get back to people all the time. This video, by the way, is dedicated to Hoff because we couldn't get together, and he asked me a question saying, "I'd never know where to draw my fibs." Now, I want everybody to go home and practice and figure out that they truly understand where exactly to draw their fibs. So yeah, DM me and I would love to get back to you with any questions whatsoever. I am so happy that everybody showed up and kind of got a little bit, maybe even if you got 10% out of this, it's still worth it. So yeah. Yay, I'm so glad. Okay, I'm gonna convert this recording and then I will put it either on my YouTube channel or Slack. But yeah.